Well, good evening, folks. This is Lila with some bedtime stories that I'd like to share with you. With me is Dean Val and our dear friend Tim von Pinnon. I'll be reading from Book 6, Your Dream Visions by Duane, the Great Writer. We will discuss the chapters and ask you folks to please ask questions about what I'm reading. And we're going to ask Dean Val and Tim, please give their interpretation of what they think the chapter's about. Things are pretty interesting. You'll definitely want to hear the chapters and what the opinions that Dean Val and Tim have for you. So stay tuned. Here we go. With all the elements involved with the mystery of one's real awareness and unawareness, it is found that the unconscious part, with all that influence it does not spare the dreamer at all. The dream experience can take the most righteous person, according to their own idea of themselves, and shove their faces in the dirt as though they were the lowest creatures on earth. The shadow will feed on anything of a derogatory nature and is usually the same sex as the dreamer. The character that has been created from all the collected agreements comes in many disguises. The shadow has its own strength, as I have personally wrestled with it many times. It is its own cunning entity which moves along the lines of the slithering slime in the lowest arenas, as it sets out to block all achievements to one becoming successful from escaping the three lower worlds. The real guides help to take care of this culprit to where it is basically gone, as they protect their new students. One cannot get rid of everything here entirely because the dualistic forces exist in the lower realms and they will continue on. So it's a matter of adjustment, like a person's sails in the wind. We cannot rid of all the flies and the bugs on earth because they do have their purpose here. And so what we can do is prepare ourselves to handle whatever it is that we have to do. The rep systems do not come close to the real guides of the is. There is no comparison, but the existing educational processes of this world will definitely not agree, as they will do everything in their power to maintain a huge hold on each and every unaware soul. In the movie Ghostbusters #2, the heroes of the movie discovered a strange pinkish goop underneath the streets of the city. What they soon realized was it was all the negative thoughts and emotions, along with the drama of the big city life, that created this huge distortion. To most, this would seem to be science fiction because humans do not, for the most part, label things for what they are not. As the U.S. government labels UFO as swamp gas. And so, because most people do not understand all the worlds that they create from their unawareness, they are constantly the unknowing effect of them. Your dream visions, part 6. The study of your dream visions is so fast and great and fun, and this is a fun adventure. As one becomes familiar with themselves, their life will expand, and they will become more capable instead of following the idea of a belief to where does not believe in such things. Nothing in life is about any sort of belief, even though the term is often used. The whole of life is an isness, and everything else has been put together from what already exists, as we term creation, such as ideas that apply mainly to the earth and the business world. To have a business plan in this world is one thing, but to go beyond all that mankind has ever known or will know is something really terrific and amazing. What all of us are experiencing on the earth is nothing compared to what is possible with a person's real awareness. As long as people hold on to what others have marketed to them as something more special than themselves, which is usually it is not, they will stay in the dark about their life as they reach their elderly years and wait to see what happens as they cross over to one of the astral levels. When people see what humans term as ghosts and what is taking place is something, and sometimes an unaware soul not knowing where to go or what to do with themselves. If the entity is mischievous or destructive, then one should do the New You sessions and call upon Rebus Artars to have the person taken away by the astral authorities. And so we get into the study of 2 more aspects of the dream worlds, and these are the anomia and the animus. The anomia is the figure image of a man, and the animus is the masculine image in woman. These 2 aspects are imprinted on the subconscious of every human being. The anomia produces moods in men, and the animus creates opinions in women. A good majority of people are controlled by their psyche, SYZYGY. This is why, and this is which the name for both of these attributes. These 2 attributes become rather prominent in both men and women in their dream visions. The man sometimes dreams that he is a woman, and the woman will dream that she's a man. Part, but not all of this is from past lives, where all of us have been both sexes many times over, and finally comes into what we are now in this life, the real awareness. It will choose the body, it seems, to fulfill its experience for each life, as the personal self really has no say, as it is the front of the person each lifetime. If one recalls our dream vividly, holding on to it with perfect recall for years, this then means it is most likely a past life. Different perceptions come through to all of us as we dream and we are awake in this world. Well, that's kind of a mouthful here. Somebody have an opinion or an insight about what this is?
Go ahead, Tim, take a shot at it.
It's something that I guess that we're really not aware of, most of us, and just starting to learn about this animus and anima stuff through this new presentation. It's interesting how our personal selves don't have any say in what this experience is in the dream state. And it is interesting that how it's being stated that we have with these things as something in our lives.
Yes, and hi, Tim and Lila. This is Val, and I'm reminded of the term, this world is an illusion, or this world is just Maya. And Lila read something like that earlier here with the reading, and she said everything's been put together by us here in creation. It's been agreed upon. And Dwayne's been talking about this lately, about the black holes in space, how they're expanding because people are becoming, well, on one side people are becoming more aware, but on the other they're becoming less aware and more subjugated to the controllers, because the controllers are upping their game because of the fact that people are becoming more aware. So these black holes are becoming bigger because this is the unconscious part of ourselves. And he talks about the atmosphere. At nighttime, what do we see? It's just, we see darkness out there. Well, that's basically unawareness. It doesn't have to be dark. These are all things that we've agreed to. We don't normally, most people don't speak to animals, don't communicate to animals, or to the wind, or to the sun. Why not? This could be possible too. It's just agreed upon. We become so literal with the agreements that we've been indoctrinated to that we no longer are, you could say, masters of our creation. We have been out-created by the controllers, or we've let them out-create us. So the world doesn't have to be the way it is. It doesn't have to be what we think is normal, because it's just it's agreed upon illusion. And at least for me, the more I see, I'm involved with the new presentation and the wonderful worldwide educators, I see that it doesn't have to be the way it is, because the world is really agreeing to its own demise right now. And you read, Lila, about the protection of the guides. Well, part of this is just becoming more aware. The more aware you are, the more protection you have for yourself. And that's very real, because they can only do so much for you. And they allow things to happen sometimes to us just so we become stronger. through it, through the experience. So not always will they do something for us when we think that they should or is needed, because they just want us to go through the experience. So it's a very interesting path, or if you want to call it that, journey into this unknown. And again, this creation is just what it says. And I'm just surprised how what Dwayne talks about, there's deeper and deeper levels that come to me in my experiences from what he said, or I see it from deeper levels or more expansive levels, let's say, not deeper, but more expansive way of looking at what he says. And this is like almost constantly. He says something, and then you see it from a more expansive viewpoint as your journey continues. It's really interesting. And it just becomes bigger. Life becomes bigger and bigger. And it really is a true adventure, what we're doing here.
Well, that's really true, Val. Life is exciting. The more that we know about what happens, we become more aware. Just subtle things happen. You can kind of, sometimes if you get too, an awareness will come. I should do this, or I should not do that, or listen to what the inner says. And then you pay attention. And if you follow that, you'll be really happy. But if you don't follow that inner nudge, you get in trouble. Or the opportunity is gone and you have to make it all over again. And if you just listen to what those nudges say, that they're trying to talk to you, you'd sure be a lot better off. Because they can see things that you cannot. They can feel it. They're constantly trying to tell us to wake up, to show us things. And that's every day something happens, that if you really look at the situation, it's there, the lesson is there. And yes, this path is not the easiest but it's the most rewarding thing, because you can be one with the all is. Tim, what do you say about this, if you want to say anything?
I was just thinking about how Dwayne is stating that life is nothing about belief. It doesn't have anything to do with belief. And so much of the world, that's one of their main thing in the religions, is a belief in some God or Savior or forgiver that is going to make their lives better if they obey the rules of their religions, and how big of an effect it has, this thing called belief that man has been convinced to think is the truth, when life itself has nothing to do with something called belief.
So almost, if you look at the word leave, so you're leaving your beingness for basically a superstition, something that's not really real. You're leaving your beingness, belief.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's right, Val.